What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Your Ex Drinking Buddy with me, your host, Brennan Tassif. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Full video available there. Check out the merch store. Look at all this stuff. We got all this stuff on the merch store. It's all available on the website, BrennanTComedy.com. You can also get my tour dates there. Every show that I have coming up, I'm going to be in New York, traveling the country, doing a bunch of gigs. So check it out. Get tickets at BrennanTComedy.com. Check out the merch store. And lastly, if you really want to support, go to www.patreon.com/BrennanTComedy. And that is where you can find Tales from the Restaurant, where I divulge everything about the celebrities I wait on. And also a little bit of behind the scenes. You'll also get the episodes early, a bunch of bonus episodes. Check it all out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Your Ex Drinking Buddy. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, James Patrick.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up,
Glad
dude?
to be here. Thank you for having me.
Before we get too far into anything, plug everything up front, social media, all the stuff, all the gigs. This will come out in 2 weeks. So anything you got coming up?
So Instagram is maybe James Patrick. I have all my shows linked there. If you want to see me, which if you want to, you'll come out. So
yeah, if you want to be there, you'll be there. That's the one thing I can't stand. Like, I'm shooting a special next month, and everyone's like, "Oh, when's the day? Like, what's the time?" It's like, if you want to find tickets, you'll find tickets. Like,
100%.
Don't give me the runaround, because in my experience, if you ask me more than 3 questions, you're not coming. So,
yeah. I'm thinking about coming. Yeah, all right.
I have my wife and I would work out at this gym right down the street, and the manager seems like he's coked up all the time, but he's like super energetic and excited, and he knows I do stand up, so he's always like, print out flyers, I'm gonna put them all around the gym, I'll tell everybody. And to his credit, he lets me put up flyers, he does tell everybody, but I know no one's coming. Like, I've been doing this long enough to where it's like no one's showing up. Unless you're like, hey, this is an absolutely huge fucking deal, I need you to show up. I don't have fans like that. I have like 2 or 3 that'll come to shows, but that's it.
Exactly.
And I remember the last one we did, I was like, it's kind of a big deal. I spent because, flyers aren't cheap. Getting a tangible flyer nowadays is it's expensive. And I spent like $80 to get these flyers print out, expedited, shipped and everything, put them up at the gym. He didn't even show up.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, dude, you're the one who's like, good flyers, I'll put them up. We're all going to be there.
It's always the people that are most excited.
Yeah.
Or it's like they'll reach out to you and they'll be like, hey, when's your next show? And then you'll send it to them. They're like, actually, I'm working that day. So then don't even fucking ask me. You know?
Also, when people go, you didn't invite me, it's like, that's what the posts are for.
Yeah.
That's a universal invitation for everybody.
Yeah, that's why I put the ticket link in my bio. That's why.
That is me. Open invitation to you.
Yes, 100%.
God, people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because we met recently, actually.
Yes.
We met at a party, a good old-fashioned showbiz party. Yeah. Before we get too far into talking about the stories and all this kind of stuff, because you don't drink anymore.
No, I'm sober as well.
Yeah,
yes.
doing
6 months,
it.
Man. Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you, man.
Before we get down that rabbit hole, I always like, especially with my first-time guest, I like the audience to get to know you a little bit. So, are you originally from New York?
Yes, Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Born and raised. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, my whole family lineage, going back to 1700s.
Wow.
Yes. We went through the family history. I thought I was one of the good white people. My family lineage, not so much, we found out.
That's why I love being a second generation American. Because when people come to me, I go, we just got here.
Yeah, no, we have some bad history. It's not
I had nothing to do with that, man.
Yeah. It was actually, we found out from...
Oh, God.
I swear to God. Ancestryhistory.com. There was like an inheritance thing, and then it had the house mapped out. And then on one of the things, it was like slaves' quarters.
Yeah.
And we were like, holy shit. I thought I was good, you know? But whatever.
Yeah,
it happens.
Especially if you live in the country long enough.
Yeah.
So, born and raised.
What a way to start.
I know. I've got a few friends I'm already thinking of what's up, Joe, in my head that are going to be like, bro, what the fuck? Anyway, so when did, so this actually kind of, so normally I'd be like, oh, like, when did you move here? All this kind of shit. But obviously you were raised here, so it wasn't a thing. Did, when were you exposed to comedy? Like because you do stand up. I've seen a lot of your clips. Very funny, very good. When was that a thing? Because you're very young now. You're
22.
Yeah. So when did you first get exposed to comedy?
I think at a young age I exposed myself to. I think you know what? It had to be with watching like America's Got Talent.
Okay.
At a young age, my parents would just have it on. And like from 7, and then like at 9 years old, I was watching Key and Peele and like Dave Chappelle Under the Sheets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, and that's really what
Strict
like
parents?
set me off. Not really.
I
but
only asked because of the watching it in secret sort of thing.
Well, I mean, they don't really want. I don't think anyone wants their 9year-old kid
That's
watching
true.
Chappelle's show.
Good point. Good
you
point.
know.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, "What'd you say?" Nothing.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was quoting Chappelle's show in middle school. Like, that's crazy. And then I watched, like, Gabriel Iglesias was, I could
Fluffy.
watch that. Yeah, of course.
That
with
original
my
special,
family.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
100%, dude. And Kevin Hart, I used to quote that too. Can't quote it anymore. But
The Laugh at My Pain one?
I think...
That's the Say It With Your Chest one.
Yes, yes. That one was one of my favorites. I used to watch that a lot. Wild and Out, just all that.
Wild and
stuff.
Out, really?
Yeah, big
Okay,
time,
yeah.
big time.
I've had a bunch of Wild 'N Out people on the show. The new iteration of it.
Yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Cannon's been doing that show for a minute.
I know he needs to give it up. no, I'm
He
kidding.
said it. The young one said it.
I'm kidding.
Nick, we're buddies. I would never tell
Yes.
you to give it up.
No. How long has that show been running? It has to be over 20 years.
It has to be.
There's, yeah. I feel like
Because he started that and he was like still like he was young.
yes,
And
yeah,
now
yeah.
he's almost 50.
Yeah, now it's like he went through a whole iteration of dating Mariah Carey,
Marrying Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey,
Divorcing
divorcing Mariah Carey. I feel like once you hit the divorce, is like, all right, now Wild
Let's
and
have a
Out.
reset.
Let's
reset what we're doing in life.
I mean, honestly, though, it has produced like great talent.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny people that are on there.
Yeah.
When did you decide you wanted to try stand-up? Because this is a thing.
Ooh.
You're not coming from an environment where it's like, that's a crazy thought. You're crazy
Yeah.
for wanting to. You live in the mecca of comedy.
Yeah.
So when you're like, I'm going to give that a shot.
Well, my mom, she did stand up in like 2016. yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
That's going in the notes.
She was doing bringers for Janice Massetti, which I did as well when I first started. Love Janice. Yeah. And
I remember the first time I did a Janice show, and she's like doing Dice Clay up there, and I was like, "Yo!"
yeah.
She said to someone in the front row, she was like, "What are you fucking retarded?"
Yes,
like, off
yeah, dude.
rip, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, dude."
Yes, she's still wilder to this day. I haven't seen her probably in a year, but
So your mom was doing stand up.
yeah, she was
Was
doing,
this like a dream that you wanted to chase, or was this just something she wanted to try?
I don't really know.
You're like, I never asked her about it.
I
Just kinda like,
honestly,
that's
it's
cool,
bad.
Mom.
I should have asked her, but she was doing it for like 2 years.
Okay.
Not like how regular open micers do. It's kind of like she would do a bringer here and there.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
so-
kind of like doing it for fun. And again, because
yes.
you live in the area, it is not like she uprooted her life to chase a dream. It's just a fun thing. I grew up in Florida my whole life.
Yeah.
People buy surfboards and they're like, yeah, I'll just try it here and there. Like
Exactly.
They're not surfing, but they like, yeah, I do it occasionally.
Exactly.
So I
yes.
get it.
Yeah, and my mom did it for 2 years, and then when I was like 19, I was going through a rough patch in my life, and my mom was
Yeah,
like,
you got sober at 22. I assume you were going through some sort of a
yeah,
rough
dude,
patch.
yes.
I'm assuming like 16 to 21 was a rough
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. 16 to 22, because it was still
Right
in
up
those.
until-
Yeah.
I was the same way. I woke up in the hospital being like, maybe I should get sober.
Yeah. It's and also to a certain extent, it's not even one of those. oh, I chose to get sober. It was like, oh, fuck, I had to get sober, you know? But I was just going through a rough patch, and she was like, I think you should take stand-up comedy classes. And I was like, all right. I mean, it's not going to kill me.
What were you doing at the time?
I was drinking Home Alone at 19. And
so you didn't go to college?
No, I was a high school dropout.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Let's
dude.
get into it.
Yeah. I hated school. It was terrible. I used to slam Adderall in the back of the classroom. It was pretty bad. From like 14 to 16, I was actually a pretty good student. And then 16 to 18, I could not stand it. And I just started working, like doing side gigs outside of school and stuff. And then COVID hit. And once COVID hit, that was like my basically my senior year. Mm-hmm. And I hated homework. And when you're at home and you have Adderall and, and video games, I mean, I was doing none of it. And I was like, oh, none of this shit counts at all.
None of it matters.
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic. Obviously, I was long graduated since I was done with college during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting thing because you do really realize how much of a facade everything really is.
Yeah.
When they're like, hey, go to work, pay your bills, do all these things, you got to do it. And then the plague comes and they're like, actually, just stay home.
Yeah.
Rent freezes. Don't worry about your bills. All these companies were like, we understand it's a trying time. And it's like, oh, so none of this actually really matters.
100%, dude. And that's what I thought. I was like, no homework is going to matter. And then
the world is ending.
Yeah, exactly. I got a call from my principal in like August and was like, hey, you're going to be held back another year. And I was like, can't hold me back if I leave. And I left.
Can't hold you back.
And I left and started working from there.
When you left school, what was your, like, where did you start working? Was it like family business? Did you go like get odd jobs or like what were you doing?
So my father, he's in the building industry. He's a resident manager, which is basically like a super for high-end luxury buildings in Manhattan. And I was a porter. I grew up, working the trade and stuff, like summer relief stuff. And I just started working as a porter. Porter
is
basically like a janitor.
Got it.
For a building, for a residential building.
When I work in high-end restaurants, they call the dishwashers porters, and that's why I was
really?
like, yeah, but I was like, you're not washing dishes.
No. Yeah. But it's like the janitor of the building. You take care of the
responsible for the cleanliness.
Exactly. I hated it.
But
you
don't say.
It was better than school. That's what I'll say.
Really?
Yes, I hated school that much.
Which is, I find fascinating because you're banging Adderall. So I thought you'd be like hyper focused, like, here we go.
Well, when you're doing a hard labor job and you're banging Adderall, that does work pretty well.
But to your point, the first time I ever took Adderall was in college because I'm 37. I'm much older than you. And I remember being in the computer lab because I had to finish an 18-page paper on a Civil War general from the North. Don't major in American history, folks. I remember I took it and I was in the computer lab and I was just on Facebook because Facebook was relatively newer at the time.
Yeah.
It came out in like 2006. And I was just on Facebook going down rabbit holes, finding friends from like middle school and high school, not writing my paper is my point. And I just kept looking at people in the computer lab being like, have you heard of this Adderall? This is fantastic. I'm getting so much done. Just hyper focused on. So I could see how like, just because you're on Adderall doesn't mean you're going to focus on the things you're supposed to focus on.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, that building was so fucking clean. I mean, I swear to God.
You could eat off these floors, Dad.
Yes, you could eat off that laundromat,
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty clean.
So when did you said 19 is when you decided to start doing stand-up?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was because your mom's suggestion of like, hey, you should try this.
100%.
Comedy classes first.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I wouldn't recommend doing a comedy class.
Yeah, we're big pro. Just go to an open mic, figure it out on this podcast.
1,000%. I mean, it's good if like I was so nervous I couldn't talk into a mic.
Oh, really?
It was actually ridiculous because I still have. It's not like I don't get it anymore. I used to have like really bad stage fright because I didn't grow up doing theater or anything. Like my first time ever talking into a mic was at a comedy class. So if you feel uncomfortable, I'd say maybe take the comedy class just so you get comfortable
in a safer
talking.
space.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Just talking into a mic, because when you're at an open mic, we are judgmental.
100%. But
that is a thing.
I will cheat code if you're at an open mic and you're new. Just say you're new.
Yes, yeah,
And we will be incredibly forgiving.
100%.
But if you get up there and try to be like Anthony Jeselnik edgelord at your first couple mics and it's all falling flat because you don't know how to write those kind of jokes yet, we're going to judge the shit out of you and be like, who the fuck does this person think they are?
1,000%.
Just saying racist shit that's not funny just because you think it's funny. It's like, this isn't Austin, bro. Fucking write some jokes, dude.
I know, dude.
So I'm very interested in this because there's... Out of all the classes in New York City, there's probably one or two that are incredibly beneficial. I say this all the time. Like the New York comedy class, there's a reason there's a year waiting list for that.
Yes.
Because if you do that class at the graduation, quote unquote, show, all the bookers from all the New York comedy clubs are there.
Yes.
And that's how people get in to get check spots and get in to get like into the club system. That's one of the only ones in the entire city where it actually like... That, and I think Laughing Buddha gives a few opportunities. I've never looked into it. But I know the New York Comedy Class one is one where people of my ilk that are past at other clubs are like, no, I'm taking the New York Comedy Class. And I'm like, you run show. What do you what?
yeah.
But like that's one of the only ways into their system. Unless you're like a huge comedian who just gets an audition, that's one of the ways in. So for you to take a class and then... And not only that, but to have stage fright, but to just keep being like, what was your mindset? Were you like, oh, I want to do this? Or like, what happened?
It was, so when I did that class show, it was, I mean, I was terrible. Like I read, recently I like looked back at my set. I had it on recording. I was like, how did I even think that this was okay to say on stage?
So happy that it wasn't as easy to record when I started comedy. Because I'll look back at old joke books, because I have all my old joke books, and I'm like, this is... The reason I'm so adamant about that edgelord stuff is because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm a super sensitive sweet boy, but I was like, no, I look like this. I played college football. Like I have to have that jock mentality.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of comedy I was trying to do. And it's, James, it is so fucking bad. Like it's, like you read it now and you go, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have it.
I mean, I have jokes from 8 months ago that I'll look back in my joke book and I'm like, why would I ever even write this?
What in my brain was like, this'll work?
Yes. Yeah.
And then also, do you ever have this where you have jokes in an old joke book where at the time it didn't work, but now that you've been doing it longer, you're like,
yes,
this is actually a great premise. I can get this to work now.
Yeah.
I have a few of those.
I reworked like just my bit. I had like a cocaine bit and I reworked it just where I was like kind of doing it like I was approaching it more quiet so I could bring the audience in, and it completely reworked the bit.
I had a good friend of mine, Chris Buck, shout out, one of my mentors from back home in Jacksonville, great comedian, hilarious guy. I used to be bombastic. Even when I came, so I started in 2009, between drugs and alcohol, you know how it is, arrests, hospitals, like I did it very on and off, very much like a hobby. And then when I came back in 2018, when I got sober, I treated it like a job.
Yes.
And I remember when I came back, I was still being very bombastic because I was like, oh, in order to get Dane Cook was one of the reasons I started doing stand-up, that original special on Comedy Central. And so I was like, oh, I have to scream. Not realizing he's doing it in the bit because it's called for in the bit. I'm just like, oh, people laugh when he yells, so I need to yell my whole set. And I'll never forget, Chris Buck came up to me one time and he goes, hey, you know, if you actually go the opposite way, people are forced to listen.
100%.
And you'll get a much bigger laugh. And I started doing that, dude, for a lot of bits. And I was like, it's like unlocking a cheat code. I'm like, oh my God, it works.
It is.
If you whisper like, so anyway, then this happened. And people are like, wait, what did he say? Like, and they lean in and then they're like, oh, I got you now. Fuck
yeah,
this.
it's like, there's this book called Finding Your Comedic Genius. I don't know. But like he talks about like how it's a bubble. And like you're building that pressure of like a balloon. And then you pop it on that punchline. And I feel like when you talk lower, you're able to do that.
I have a couple of bits that are sad because I talk about darker stuff, obviously being in recovery. And I used to speed through the setup to get to the punchline because it's like, oh, this is like dark and sad, and I don't want to focus on that, but it's important for the punchline because it's a misdirect. And people. I remember Greg Melly, a friend of mine, a very funny comic, was like, slow down. Sit in it.
Yeah.
Because then it's just going to make the punchline that much harder. Because you're taking people, and I was talking to Hozo about this last week. You take people from down way up.
100%.
And that's way easier to do than keeping them in the middle and going up. Like it's way bigger boom if you take them from all the way down. So I started doing that where and it's like some dark where I'm talking about going to the hospital and almost dying, and people are like, I thought this was a comedy show.
Yes.
And then you hit them with the tag and they're like, bah! And
Yes,
got you,
dude.
fuck.
It's the best feeling. And I will say, I heard you say something where like after you got sober, you started treating it like a job. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of like the key factors is when I got sober, like right before I got sober, I think the day of, I was really like, all right, if I want to do stand-up, like professionally, like I want to look at it as a profession, I have to treat it like a job.
Yeah.
If I want to do it as like, you know, just a hobby, I can
hang out
keep
with your
drinking.
friends.
Yeah, keep drinking.
Go to Mike's Hammered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go to Mike's Hammered. Don't know what I'm saying on stage.
No one's gonna book you, but
myself.
you'll get a couple of laughs. It'll be fun.
Exactly. Everyone thinks I'm the party guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
The
was
drinking
my
buddy,
thing.
as it were.
Dude. Exactly. Yeah.
So you do the class, and this is something that's interesting because I don't ever remember having stage fright. But again, I did theater as a kid and stuff like that, and I was always an attention seeker. But I wasn't like a class clown. But I always would like if this is why I'm good at restaurants. But like even a couple weeks ago, my wife's family had a big party for us since we're having the baby and stuff, and her brother got engaged.
Congrats.
So thank you. Yeah, so we had like a big thing, and I remember. They were like, hey, we want people to like come inside because we're going to like do the cake now. And everyone's like, oh, should we tell people? Should we? And I just walked out and I was like, hey, everybody, we're going inside now to do the cake. Like interrupting conversation. I was like, yo, cake time. Let's go.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. And it's like, I've never been shy about like being in front of people. But to your point, the first 2 years I was doing stand-up, I was hammered.
Yes.
I was like, I can't get on stage in front of all these fucking
No shot, dude. I was like, when I got sober, I had to relearn how to get on stage.
I love that you said that because I had to when I first got I used to watch movies drunk. I used to go on dates drunk.
Relearning everything, dude. Having conversations with people. I mean, it was like the first 90 days of sobriety. And I think that's why they count it. You know, like that's why it's such a big deal in sobriety is the first 90 days because you're relearning how to do literally everything.
How to function as an adult, as a human being. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, because like always right before you get sober, you're at your complete worst, obviously. You know, worst hygienically, worst mentally. You know, just a bad person.
You're falling apart.
You know, exactly. You're all broken down. So then you have to build yourself back up. And that's so tough to do, especially when you're doing stand up. And like that, you're surrounded by broken people.
Yes, 100%. That was one of the benefits, though, because in the Jacksonville scene and then moving to the New York scene, I don't know how it is now because I've been out of Jacksonville for 5 years, but there were so many people who treated it like a job.
Yes.
And they were like, no, you don't drink before the mic. Like, we're working on material. And these are people, like my friends, Marcus Crespo, one of my best friends, huge shout out. He like tours the whole Southeast and around the country. Like, he makes his living doing comedy.
Yeah.
And like my buddy Chris Buck that I mentioned, same thing, like makes a living doing comedy. And they're like, no, this is our job.
Yeah.
Like, and to the point about relearning, like I used to wake up in the morning and have to do shots to like settle my nerves.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't even know how to fucking wake up without drinking.
Yes,
so
yeah.
like I literally had to relearn my life.
Yeah.
And it became this thing. And now I dump my addictive behavior into stand up and into the podcast and into the gym. Like I go to the gym even if I'm hurt. Like I used to drink.
Yeah.
Even if you wake up hungover, you're like, no, I'm drinking.
Yes.
I do the gym the same way. Like I'll wake up sore as shit or I would have pulled a muscle and I'm like, well, I still have to go to the gym today.
Yeah.
And my wife is always like, you're dying. And I'm like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
The only way out is through.
Yes. That's how I've changed to cigarettes. I just say if I'm sick, I'm still smoking. It does not matter.
I always say this. The most Republican thing I've ever done in my life was I smoked cigarettes while I had COVID.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny,
Yeah, I was
dude.
like,
That's
yeah.
so fucking funny.
What? Yeah. Yeah, I got COVID. I still need, what am I going to do? Not smoke?
Yeah, I need to get rid of these Newports somehow.
Yeah, they gotta go. And they were Newports. So from there, You said it was right before you got sober. So within the last 6-7 months where you were like, oh, I got to start. So what happened after the class before you got sober? Because there's a few years there.
Yes. So
where are you just drinking at shows and like having a good time?
So what happened was I'll work behind the class. So I was living with my ex-girlfriend. All right. So this is going to be pretty long.
No, go. We got an hour to fill, so go ahead.
My ex-girlfriend, I met her. I never did any drugs, never drank, never smoked, never done anything. Then
how old were you when you met her?
I was 18.
So you were still doing Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall, but like I didn't know
Yeah.
that I was getting high off of it.
100%.
One of those things.
Yeah.
You know, I was just
I just
like,
want to clarify because I'm going to get comments being like, Adderall's a class 2 narcotic.
Yeah.
All right. Fucking relax.
yeah, dude.
Put down your Adderall and relax.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just doing Adderall at that time, and I was just like, I'm having fun. I'm walking around.
Well, you're also being prescribed, so you're not doing anything where it's like you have to go to a drug dealer and be like, hey, give me the stuff.
1,000%. I was just walking around Bay Ridge at like 4 a.m., and I thought that was a normal thing to do. You know, like, actually, that was my mindset. Like, I didn't realize that. But I met my ex-girlfriend, and she was a partier. I was not. About 2 months into a relationship, I knew she was a partier. I did not want to go to parties, but she was like, let me take you to a rave. And I was like, I really don't want to fucking go to a rave. And then we go, and to like get the nerves out of me, I pick up.
She's obviously incredibly attractive.
Yes. No. no. She is not.
You're not going to a rave if you're like, babe, just shut up. We're going to play Call of Duty.
Yeah. And like my nerves were so bad. I've always had bad social anxiety, and my nerves were so bad. The first time I drank was before the rave. I pick up a Four Loko, and
oh yeah, you guys got the new one.
Yeah.
We had the old one.
Yes,
yeah.
we didn't have those.
That was killing people.
I know, but that would have been cool to experience that once.
Just the original.
Yeah.
It was nuts, dude.
And so
they brought it out and brought it right back in.
Yeah, dude.
They released it and like 4 people died, and they're like, yo!
yeah. It's like that charged lemonade they had at Panera Bread. You know?
Let's go.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
So you don't want to. You mentioned the social anxiety, and everyone listening to this knows I'm an extroverted introvert. By nature, I want to be by myself. I'd rather rack up, play Starfield or Skyrim or something, just sit in my chair and just hang out.
Yeah.
But this business forces us to be out.
Yes.
So, like, even when we went to Jason's party, me and Zach, it was one of those things where I ended up getting off work early. I know I wanted to go. I know I should go to be, out in front, do the whole thing, do the schmoozing. But in my head, I still do this. Dude, I've been in New York 5 years. I know so many people, but the scene is so big. If I show up to an open mic, I will, if it's one I normally don't go to, or if I go to a show that I normally don't go to, I'll pace around outside and be like, just go in.
Yeah.
Not gonna, like, I have to hype myself up.
Yeah.
And then I walk in. If I don't know anybody, sometimes I'll just be like, if I'm not on the show or getting paid, I'll be like, actually, and I'll just leave.
Yes.
Because it's like, what am I going to do? Sit in a corner?
I know.
I am so bad about that first interaction. As soon as you introduce me to somebody, I'm on. I'm talking.
100%.
I'm having a good time. But that's why I was like, Zach, you need to get your ass here. He's like, I'm busy. I was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, dude.
And then luckily, as soon as we walked in, I knew a bunch of people. Yeah. But it's just that barrier of like, so you are going to the rave, same thing. You got this wall of nerves. You're like, I don't want to go. This is going to suck.
Yes.
Four Loko comes in.
Yes. And from there, so day before, never drank, never did anything. I went from never doing anything to drinking a Four Loko, ripping like those balloons that they had. I didn't even. Yes.
Nitric oxide, yeah.
Yes. The cough. What is it called? What they
Codeine?
use? No. I'm forgetting the name.
Robitussin?
No, Whippets.
Whippets.
I was doing Whippets, did ecstasy. That's all one night. Wow. And then from there.
I was wondering why First Rave was the #1 thing on your story.
Yes, yeah, that's why, dude. Yeah, it started everything.
So, 18 years old, even in high school, you weren't drinking, you weren't doing any of that.
No, I was a good boy.
Yeah, you meet the girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, just come. You're like, I don't want to go. And she's like, drink this Four Loko. It'll calm you down. And you're like, bet. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then you do Whippets, nitric oxide, and ecstasy.
Ecstasy. Yep.
Are you still drinking while you're at the rave?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, stupid question. So take us through. What happens? Do you remember the night? Does it go poorly? I'm assuming.
It was great.
Did you have fun?
Yes, it was awesome, man. It was under
Which is always the worst part.
I know.
You're like, let's do that again.
Yes, and that lasted for about 4 years. And so it was underneath the K Bridge, the Kosciuszko Bridge, between Brooklyn and Queens. I guess it's Brooklyn and Queens. And that was before it was like, nowadays they have those parties and they're like very official, those raves. This was like the cops kicked us out. And
this is when it was so cool.
Yes, it was still cool. It was very underground. You had to know someone to know someone.
It's so funny that you're 22 and you have a back in my day story.
Yeah, I know. It's so wild. Yeah. Well, 4 years, it was...
You kids have no idea what raves were like.
To be honest, I also could get away with it because of my voice.
Yeah.
You know?
When you said 22, I was even like, what the fuck?
I know, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so that started like a 4-year journey. Then like we got an apartment together. I got like really addicted to cocaine. And that's always great.
How did you find cocaine?
Oh, through her.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But because the first time I ever saw cocaine, I was still playing college football. I like was pre-law. I was like, I saw it and I freaked out. Even being from Florida, I was like, I've seen a lot of weed. I've seen people drink, but I was like, cocaine. How did you even get that? That's so like crazy. Like, you're not supposed to have that. And then fast forward 3 years, I was like doing cocaine every single day.
Yes.
So for you, when you first see it, because you were a good boy up until you were 18. So when you first see it, are you like, babe, what the fuck? Like, you can't have that.
Well, I mean, I already went through ecstasy.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
I'm
at
not
this
a fucking
point,
nerd.
Yeah, we were sitting in Tompkins Square Park in the back. So before they did like a bunch of renovations recently, and before then there was like a little back patio by the pool. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But like there was just people strung out on heroin back there, and we were just openly doing cocaine on a Saturday at like 2 p.m.
In the park.
Sun's out.
Yeah.
In the park.
Sun's out, coke's out.
Yeah, dude. And that was like one of the nights where I didn't black out, but I did. Dave Attella has this bit about time traveling.
Yeah.
Literally time traveled. We were at one side of the park, then I went to the other side of the park. No remembrance of how I got to the other side. That's kind of how that started. I moved in with my ex-girlfriend. We were just doing cocaine, like, literally, like, when I mean every day, I mean every day. Like,
And are you still working for your dad at this point?
Yes. I was.
Just showing up at 5 a.m. I'm ready to go, Dad.
Yes, dude. And I had to drive to Jersey every day. I was doing cocaine in the car, driving, would have a bottle. My ex-girlfriend used to work for pre-K.
Yeah.
And she had a bottle with her name on it that said, like, Miss whatever her name is.
We're definitely not saying that.
I know. Miss whatever. And then it would be filled with vodka.
Yeah.
And I'd be slamming it while I was driving and doing blow.
I used to have to do that to go to work because I worked at a breakfast place and I'd have to be up at like 5:30. And when you drink all night, getting up at 5:30 is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
So you just, like I said, I'd slam a couple shots.
Yeah.
I had a water bottle that I'd fill with vodka. And we're talking Florida summers. I would keep it in my trunk. Just God forbid if I got pulled over, they wouldn't notice it. And even if they opened my trunk, they'd just see a Zephyr Hills bottle.
Yes.
And so after the breakfast rush, I'd go out to my car because my hangover would start kicking in.
Yeah.
And I would chug this water bottle filled with vodka.
Holy shit.
That's like
dude.
110 degrees in my
Oh,
black
my
car's
God.
trunk. And I would just chug that and be like, all right, let's finish the shift.
Holy fuck.
So you were doing this, you're just driving to work, just slamming vodka, doing coke, being like, I got to get there.
I will say the funniest part is I would do like a few bumps, like when I'd first wake up in the morning, and then I'll be like, I'll leave the cocaine. Because that's
I'll
gonna
be good today.
Yeah, I'll be good today. That was my definition of being good. And that started the whole thing. Whatever. I cheated on her. She left. I was like, I have no money for the apartment. I was paying like $18.50. I was 20 years
That's
old.
a lot.
Yeah, by myself. I couldn't afford it, but I could afford booze around the corner. So
Yeah,
I was
of course.
getting Budweisers and fucking watching Shane Gillis like all day. This is still before I did stand up. And then I can't afford.
Oh, that Austin special.
Yes.
That was on YouTube. Yeah,
Yes,
I know that one.
it was
Yeah.
like right when it came out. And then
God, it is so funny. I had like 4 years sober when you're going through all this. And like,
yeah,
just
dude.
the idea that we're watching that same special and we're both into it and we're like, I love Kyle and Shane's funny and I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And to think now in hindsight, there's a dude 1,000 miles away in Brooklyn, New York, being like, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
And now
Also,
we're together.
Baby J, John Mulaney.
Yeah.
I was watching that so high off of cocaine.
I was so mad about Baby J because I released my one-man show about getting sober thinking like someone in the industry is going to see this and it's going to change things. I set it to release on May 30th because that's my sobriety date. Baby J came out May 13th.
Oh,
so
my God.
obviously
Dude.
I am not John Mulaney. Nobody gives a shit about me. But I thought if there's nothing else in the zeitgeist about getting sober, this will be a huge deal.
Yes.
And then he fucking snaked me 2 weeks before.
Yeah, dude.
And then
Oh,
everyone's
my
like,
God.
John Mulaney got sober. This is so fascinating. So
Yeah.
when my shit came out, everyone was like, nobody gives a shit, dude. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
So you're doing all this, watching. How long until you get kicked out of the apartment?
It was probably, I think it was, I can't remember dates correctly, but like I left.
Were you in there for a while? Okay, so
I was there
that's-
for
yeah.
about, like, I almost made a year there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive for, like, how much shit I did that whole time, you know.
Did you just stop paying rent?
Yeah.
Were
I
you like
was-
calling them like, "Hey, I got it. I'm gonna work some things out." Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I was borrowing money that I
Yeah.
would never give back to
Yeah,
my
of
parents.
course.
One of those
Yeah.
things. And then
it's a loan. It's not a gift.
Yes,
and then you're like, I'm
exactly.
never giving this shit back.
yeah, they know it too. They're like, you have to pay me back. I'm like, we'll see about that. You know,
I feel so bad because I'm obviously being a comic. I'm in a financial position with, especially the baby on the way and everything. My uncle was that for me. Like
Yeah.
when I got my DUIs, the first one, he was like, how much do you need to get your license back? This is just a loan. And I was like, yeah, I got you. I'm going to get on the straight and narrow. Then I relapsed. Then I ended up getting another DUI and got in a lot more trouble. I didn't hurt anybody, but they compound. So when
Yeah.
I got a second one, it was way worse consequentially than the first one. Same thing. He was like, how much do you need to get out? He helped me get my license back. And it was all under the guise of like, I am, because even at the time, you know this, I was like, I am going to pay you back. In my heart, I was like, I'm going to try to pay you back.
Yeah.
But then things happen. It's like, I don't have $5,000 to pay you back. I'm sorry.
yes. Well, also, I will say both my parents sober. Like, I grew
Oh.
up with them being sober. They got sober.
That
in,
makes
like,
so
the
much more sense
90s.
why you didn't drink then until you drank.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's like,
Did they talk to you about that? Like when you were in high school, where they're like, "Hey, just so you know, like we had a problem."
yeah,
Just-
I used to go to AA meetings.
yeah.
with
So
them.
you knew all about it.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
You fucking scoundrel.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, someone give me that Four Loco. Shut up, you're lame. Someone
Yeah,
give me
dude.
a Cool Whip bottle.
Yeah, there was one time I remember I was on a bender, and then I show up to work, and my dad.
You didn't work at the same building as your dad, or did you?
No. This was like there was another time where I worked for my dad for construction. That
Okay.
was short lived. Because he fired me because I was such a mess. But I show up to work and I'm looking at him and he goes, "You look like you've been on a bender for 5 days," like straight in my face. Has no idea. I've never even told him I drank. And I go, "It's been 5, but you know, whatever." And like I was so out of my mind.
Yeah.
It made no sense whatsoever. You know. Dude.
So you're at the apartment.
Yeah.
What ends up? So you decide I got to get out of here.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just couldn't afford the rent.
Yeah.
And I
So
moved.
move back home.
So, yeah, my mom, in the middle of all this, she moved down to South Carolina. I moved down there as well. I lived
God, they
there.
probably loved your voice down there.
Yeah, no, they hate
Oh, really?
Northerners. Like, a lot.
No, I know, but you have the like deep. You just tweak it a little, and you could have a really good Southern draw.
I can't, dude.
That's
I
just
can't.
it.
It's also a lot of people from, like, Philly, New York, Connecticut are all moving down to South Carolina.
Yeah, so we got that a lot in Florida. It's all Jersey and New Yorkers moved to Florida.
So a lot of the natives are kind of
Yeah.
like, who the fuck are these
Yeah,
people?
I
You know?
remember when I lived in Boca Raton because that's where I went to college. FAU, go Owls. Oh, it was all like Jersey people,
Yeah.
and they drive like Jersey people,
Yes.
and you're like, stop. You know the lane merges. Stop fucking driving all the way up to the merge point and getting like cutting
Yeah.
people off.
Yeah.
Just fucking merge back there like you're supposed to. And then I moved to New York and I was like, oh, all you motherfuckers do this.
Yes. Yeah. That's I feel like that is the one thing. Like, and trying to find work down there too. No one really wants to hire the 21-year-old that just, you know, it's just weird like that. I'm I sound like this and I look like that. It's just.
And you're still drinking and
I know,
partying.
I'm still drinking. So, and then I turned 21 there. Part of the reason why I moved down there was like so I could stop myself from drinking.
Yeah.
I turned 21.
Geographical change.
Exactly. I turned 21. There was an alcohol store right next to the Food Line, which Food Line's like Key Food, but like down south.
It's so funny. I know Food Line, and so when I talk to people down back home, I go, "We have Key Food up here. It's like a Food Lion, but
yes, yeah, dude, it's the same exact thing. But there was a liquor store right next to it, and
that's another cool thing in the South. All the the Food Lions, the Walmarts, the Publixes, they all have a liquor store attached to them.
Yes. Well, here too, there's like some BJ's.
Oh yeah,
Whole
that's
Foods
true. Yeah.
Where they have. Like,
I just don't see it because we don't have a car, so it's like I don't go to those big like, especially living in Astoria. Like I have a trade fair across the street, and that's where I go shopping. And it's like there's 2 other liquor stores, but they're down the block.
Exactly, dude.
Not that I go into those, but just saying I know where they are. I always know where they are. So what are you doing? Are you going to the Food Lion liquor store? Like you're like, oh, I'll get a but I don't know if you know this, James. Mm-hmm. Nobody gives a shit about your geographical change if you're 21. You can just buy alcohol.
I know. And I was using a New York State license too.
Oh yeah.
When I turned 21, and everyone was like, this is illegal that you're like living in South Carolina with a New York State driver's license. I was like, I've only been here for a week, and I was living there for like 4 months. Yeah.
God, I can't believe people called you out on that. What a fucking stick in the mud.
And that was in the liquor store too.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, dude. Like you're supposed to be.
How about you fucking ring me up and we end this conversation?
Yeah, I'm here for booze only. And then I would get really drunk in my parents' home. They had no idea I was drinking, and they was like throwing the bottles underneath the dresser.
Those add up.
Yeah, and then when I had to leave, I was like, fuck.
Yep. What are you going to do with those
bottles? Yep. And I had to secretly throw away.
Like one at a time?
I just had a bag, and I was just like, yeah, sorry, guys. And I was walking through the living room with the bottles clanking. They definitely knew.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I remember I got a gift package from Sailor Jerry because when I was in college, Captain just wasn't cutting it anymore when I was like a junior or senior. Yeah. And so I started buying Sailor Jerry, but I was so disgusted with how much I was drinking that I would put the bottles in my closet.
Really?
Yeah. Because I didn't want to put them in the trash in the living room because there'd be a new one every other day.
Yes.
So I would just put them in my closet. And this is in college. Like my 2 roommates are other college students, but I was like out of control. Like it was bad. And I remember a friend of mine from work took a picture. This is when cameras or phones finally had cameras on them, took a picture of it and sent an email to Sailor Jerry being like, this guy's like your biggest fan. He loves it. Because it was a comical amount. It was like, dude, you open the closet and they like fall out of the closet. Yeah. And then they sent me for my 22nd birthday, they sent me like a whole care package.
Oh, that's pretty
with
sad.
Like coasters and chains and like a book of the history of Sailor Jerry and the tattoo artist originally who started it. Yeah. And like 3 different bottles, all the different sizes. And like and I was like, oh, maybe you have a serious problem, dude.
Yeah,
You're getting care packages from liquor companies?
Yeah, dude.
So you end up, so both your parents, are they together?
No, they're divorced.
Okay, so was it just your mom living in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what ends up happening when, how did you get back to New York then?
So my grandmother, she passed away in like 2020, and she owned the apartment in Coney Island. Mm-hmm. Like really, it's a really shitty apartment, like 1970s, hasn't been renovated from like 1975. They don't even make ovens small anymore. Like none of the shit worked, but the shower worked. And I was like, I need to move back because after my class show, I moved to South Carolina, and all I could think about was doing stand-up.
So you had done the class show before you left, before you were like, I need a geographical change. You did the class, you did all the things.
Yes.
Okay. How old were you when you did the class show?
I was
19?
20.
Okay, so you were 20, do the class show, things are getting out of control up here. You move out of your apartment down to South Carolina with mom. You're staying with mom, then you're like, I got to get back to New York. Okay.
I hated South Carolina. Like, I couldn't stand it.
Who was living in the apartment at the time? Because this would have been 4 or 5 years after your grandma passed away. Or was it just
vacant?
It was just a vacant apartment?
My dad was using it for storage. Because it was like...
well, if she owned it, what do you...
Yeah, it was like $200 a month.
Yeah. for the maintenance or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And then he let me stay there.
Yeah, that's cheaper than getting a storage unit.
100%, dude. And I was living down there, and that's when I started doing stand-up. Like, I was just doing open mics every day. And then that's when I started drinking, like,
And this is in
full-time.
Coney Island?
Yes.
So are you just getting on the end, coming all the way up?
I was taking D train all the way, which I was on second to last stop from the D. So that's a fucking,
That's like an hour train.
Dude, it was miserable.
Yeah.
And
You're 30 minutes in and you look up and you're like, fuck!
Yeah, dude. I mean, at least I will say the one thing, the D train is on the outside. So for the first half hour of taking the train, I could be on my phone.
Yeah.
But then after that half hour, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't be on your phone under the ground.
Yeah, no. And then I didn't have a job, but my parents were like, they were sending me money. I would have to send back money, and I was borrowing money. It was like such a weird scheme that I was fucking doing. At the end, when I like finally got my job, I owed my parents like $7,000, and I had to pay them back. Whatever. But like me getting that job just really led to, I could drink as much as I want now.
Yeah.
This is what this means. And I was like,
Are you paying rent on your grandma's old place?
No, my
Is your
dad
dad
just let me coast.
Okay.
But like,
Dude.
Also letting me coast. The only thing that worked in that place was a shower.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Shower and a bed.
Yeah, exactly. No, air mattress.
Okay. There
Air
we go.
mattress.
Now we're doing it.
Air mattress for a year.
To quote the great Matt Fulstron, every day is a bad day when you wake up on the wrong side of the floor.
Yes, dude. And you know what's the worst part is when I would have to, there would be a hole in the mattress, and you stay on that thing until it fully like drops out.
I've been there.
Yeah. Like that thing will last you 3 months. But
Yeah.
you're making it last till those 3 months.
Did you do the thing? Was it an automatic filler?
Yes.
Okay, so I had one where you had to like plug in the thing. So I remember when I was staying in Oklahoma City at my cousin's house, I was on an air mattress, but it had a leak in it.
Yeah.
So I remember every night I'd be drunk, wake up like halfway through the night, and I would have to unplug it. All the air would start coming out, and then I'd shove the pump in there, and then turn it on. But I wouldn't get off the bed. Like I just kept the pump next to it,
yes.
and then just fill it up, pull it off real quick, and seal it.
Yes.
So for you, if it's leaking, you just roll over, click the button, and let it reload.
Yeah, but like it would, I don't know why. I think it's because I had like keys in my back pocket, but it would always be like where my ass is. So that I would like put my ass
Right
on the hole.
yeah.
So it would fill up, and then I would be like, all right, I have to stay here for the rest of the night. And then I always wake up at like 2 a.m. on the floor with my back killing me.
Yep.
You know, and that was like a year of doing that.
Just drinking every day.
Just every day, getting hammered. Don't remember any nights.
Going to Mike's?
Going to Mike's, getting hammered. I still do those same mics, so it's like weird going there.
Yeah.
Not.
Are you doing
drinking.
shows at this point? Are your friends booking you on shows and stuff? Or?
Yeah. It's not often, but it's like, you know, it's good enough. Like I did a.
I only asked because to the point you were making earlier, if you're showing up to shows drunk and you fucking bomb, those people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I was a likable drunk.
Yeah.
I was a really likable
That's
drunk.
a very
So
key thing in this business.
I was never, like, very rare was I shithead drunk, so I could get along with anyone.
Yeah.
And anyone I put myself around, they also drank heavily.
Yeah.
So that's why when I got booked on shows, they were like, oh, we're booking James so we could all get fucked up tonight.
Let's party, yeah.
Yes, that's why I was doing it. So no one booked me knowing that they didn't know I was going to get fucked up
Yeah.
tonight. There would be like some sort of professionalism where I would have like a beer before I went up. It wasn't like 6 beers. But
Not to mention the 5 you had before you got there.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yes, yeah. And at open mics, that's where I like let loose.
Yeah.
Grizzly Pear Midtown, I had a discount where I would have 8 beers and 2 shots or 3 shots. And that was like from 3:30 to like 5:30, and that would come out to like $20.
Damn.
Like that's it.
That's like
you know,
that's like drinking for free in New York.
dude. It basically is, and that's probably one of the worst parts of like quitting drinking is you have all this built up capital and you just can't use it anymore. Like I was so tight at all these bars and stuff. So like now it translates to coffees. Coffees are like $1.
Yeah, and
at the bars.
and it's a weird thing too because you build these. I know this from working in restaurants as long as I have. One of the key factors for just like a barter system. Like if someone comes in that I really like, I'm friends with or that I like, I will give them free stuff. But it is a lot harder to get my chef to give free food than it is to get the bar manager to be like, yeah, just give them a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll have guests come in that I'm a big fan of, but they don't drink. And I'm like, I can bring you like a shrimp cocktail. Like that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's why I had a very good friend of mine, very funny comic. She came in with a bunch of her people from work, and she didn't drink for a very long time, but she's drinking again now. And I was like, oh, thank God. I can bring you like champagne. I can bring you espresso martinis.
Yes.
Like I can make this seem like a huge deal.
Yes.
But if you were still not drinking, I could bring you a salad, maybe a dessert. Like I got nothing.
No, I can't get shit from Grizzly Pear Midtown anymore for free. It sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you do lose that bargaining chip, especially if you're getting drinks and then tipping real well and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, oh, that's out the window.
Yeah.
So you're doing this stuff. When did you decide? You said it was when you got sober. Mm-hmm. What was the thing? Was it chicken or the egg? Did you decide I need to start taking this more seriously, so I'm going to get sober, or did you decide I'm sober now, so I should start taking this more seriously?
It was definitely, I was like drinking one night, and I was like, there was just a bunch of stuff that happened. So last Christmas, I told my dad's work truck, drunk driving.
Totaled it.
Yes, totaled. Christmas Eve.
Is that car crash?
Yep.
Okay, so what happened?
So I was drinking at Grizzly Pear Midtown. Of course, I was just coming.
Shout out Grizzly Pear.
Yeah, I know. They don't book me. It's fine.
Yeah, they don't book me either. That's why I did it.
Yeah. I was.
It is crazy. Just side note,
Yeah.
and this will get me in trouble. I get in trouble so much on this podcast because I call out bookers and shit all the time. It's a crazy thing to be like, how am I not booked at that club more? And then you show up and like I'll be on a Produce show and I'll see a bunch of the regulars that they have, and I go, I'm gonna bury these fucking people.
I know.
Like, what are we doing?
I know. It's very frustrating. But I also host their mics, so I can't really. Yeah. I can't say that much.
I'll say it. What the fuck are we doing? Throwing shit now.
Yeah, throwing shit.
So Christmas Eve.
Yes, Christmas
You're
Eve.
drinking at Grizzly Pear, doing mics. You're a fucking professional. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas Eve. You're still going to the show.
Still going to Mike. And I was drinking heavily that night. I was the only one at the bar, of course, because it's Christmas Eve and no one else is at the bar. But I had my car in Manhattan, and I was like, I need to drive this thing home. Streets are probably going to be empty, so it's probably okay for me to drive home. And I was so drunk. I was driving on the BQE.
This is your dad's truck that you have,
Yes, dad's truck. I was driving on the BQE. I had music playing. It was Last Christmas by Wham, and I was like, I don't want to listen to Wham, and I was going like 75
on the
right?
BQE.
Yeah, and I was like trying
50. For those of you listening, 50 is the speed limit on the BQE.
Yes, yeah, and I was like trying to tap my phone so I could skip the song, and then I look up, and the cars are like all stopped, and I'm like, oh fuck! So then I try and slam on the brake, and I turn. Car slams into me. Well, I kind of slammed into them.
The one in front of you?
Yes. Yeah. I slammed into it. Cops pulled me over. They didn't charge me for anything. And
They're like, away. Just exchange information. We'll get out of here?
Yeah.
Your dad must have been through the fucking roof, dude.
He didn't find out until I got sober.
No way.
Yes, I was.
So did you call and say, "Hey, I got in an accident. The car's totaled"?
Yeah. What I said was I was trying to pull out to get another spot because I was on the wrong side parking, and this fucking tow truck hit me when I was on the side street, and he just went and kept going. And my dad, I don't think he really believed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially if he's been in recovery, he knows you're a liar.
Yeah, 100%. And I lied to him. I told him recently about it. But, it was.
So for those of you listening, in New York, the cops don't give a shit unless they're in trouble.
Yes.
In my experience. So
also, I will say the first thing I said to the cops was "Merry Christmas, guys," which I don't know. I mean, that's a telltale sign that someone's drunk. Is you're saying "Merry
it's a Christmas miracle"?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
But because I talk about this all the time. I've dealt with law enforcement a lot. Mm-hmm. Obviously, someone who's been arrested 8 times. I don't talk to the cops. I don't like the police. That's just a personal thing because I I've seen firefighters, EMTs, I've seen all these people who are first responders do heroic things, save people. I have never once seen a cop do anything heroic.
Yeah.
I have seen them bully people. I've seen them fucking harass people. Yeah. I've never seen them actually stop any sort of crime.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people's argument is, well, their presence stops the crime. Whatever. You can have that debate, but I won't. I just don't like the police.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating to move to a city where there are so many cops all over the place just getting paid those union wages, doing nothing.
Yes.
So it is not a it's not a far-fetched thing to believe that you hit this guy and everyone's fine. There's no injuries or whatever that anyone could see. And the cops are like, just exchange information. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, exactly. No, they didn't care. They didn't want to be there.
Yeah, they don't want to do the paperwork. What
exactly.
are they? I'm going to miss Christmas morning with my kids because I have to file this paperwork and arrest this bozo?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, they're out of there. What happened with the person you hit?
They were fine. Their car was fine.
Really?
Mine was totaled.
Was that because you were turning?
I think so.
Okay.
And also, like, airbags went off. It was,
once the airbags go off, you're total. I guess front end. So you obviously slammed on the brakes. You weren't going 75 when you hit him because that would kill you.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that was one of those moments. And guess what? You think I stopped? The next day I was back at Grizzly Pear Midtown drinking. Yeah.
So what happens, because I love little details. So what happens? You hit the guy. The cops are like, exchange information. We're out of here. Yeah. Do you call a tow truck? Or how do you get home?
Cops call tow truck. Tow truck drops me off home. They bring it to a tow place.
Are your parents like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, I'm sure you reek of booze.
Well, I was living by myself.
Oh, I forgot. God, I forgot.
They had no idea. Yes. That's why I was able to get fucked up.
Oh, what a fucking... I mean, not blessing. That's the wrong word. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what a lucky break because you were living... That was one of the things I loved. When I was by myself, I was just like, I'll just do whatever the fuck I want.
Yes. Yeah.
No roommates to be like, you're drinking too much.
Yeah.
No siblings to be like, hey, cut it out. I'm just going to get hammered.
Yeah, dude.
So, did you go the next day to Christmas?
I went to the bar immediately. Of course, that's what we do.
Dude, what was the almost pulled over incident?
That one was a while. So that was, I was buying a gram of, was it a gram? No, it was an 8-ball with my ex-girlfriend. I was still driving my dad's car.
3 grams.
Yes.
Just for anyone who doesn't know.
And I was trying to get an 8-ball. And I was in, you meet up with your drug dealer. Usually your drug dealer's not living in the nicest part of the neighborhoods. And it was...
This is with the ex, you said?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I was with my ex. We're meeting up with my drug dealer. Really bad neighborhood. They have NYPD drug vans like all over. But they're not marked, so you have no idea.
Well, you have some idea.
You have some idea, but also, I was drinking heavily. When you meet up with your dealer, you're not going in sober on that transaction.
That's true, and you're also not... It's so funny because you're not paying that much attention because you haven't gotten in trouble yet.
Yes.
Like, now, I don't even drink anymore, but I see cops fucking everywhere.
Yes.
But when I was drinking, I hadn't gotten in trouble. So I was like, whatever, I'll drink and drive. Everyone in my family does it. I'll do it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And then you get a couple DUIs and you're like, yeah, maybe we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah. I was pretty aware though. I will say, driving on the highways and stuff, I could tell to this day, I know who's undercover on the streets. There's pretty telltale signs, like bumped out.
Yeah, you get the antenna on the back. And exactly. Like, nobody has that anymore.
Yeah.
So you go to the drug dealer's house. What happens?
So I'm not even at his house. We're supposed to meet up. He gets in the van. I'm pulled over to the side of the road. And, I turn the lights on. I give him the cash. He hands me the 8-ball. And then he goes, oh, fuck. And I go, what? He's like, there's an NYPD drug van right behind us. And I'm like, oh, this is the worst scenario.
This cannot be happening.
This literally cannot be happening. I have an 8-ball. I have leftover ecstasy in my jacket coat. I have vodka.
You're drunk as shit.
I'm drunk as shit. My ex-girlfriend's sitting next to me. And then I'm like, all right, time to focus up. I pull out. I take a left.
Van's following you?
Van's following me for
I'm getting so much anxiety just listening to the story.
Another block. I keep driving straight.
Shoot, somebody murder somebody. Please somebody murder somebody. Please somebody murder somebody.
I keep driving straight. It's a brown car. Did not no idea. I thought it would have been just like a construction van or something.
Okay.
You know, I didn't think it was anything
And the color is disconcerting too, because normally black or white, you're kind of like, all right.
Yeah, it was
if it's
brown.
all black, you're like, yeah, that's definitely an undercover van. Tinted windows, all black.
Yeah, it was like a tan brown van. It was very weird. I would have never expected it to be that color. And I was driving like 3 blocks. It was still following me. I was like, holy fuck. I never pictured myself in this scenario of like getting caught.
You're going to prison for 10 years.
I know. This is like 2 years ago. I never did drugs, never drank. And now I'm almost getting caught with my drug dealer in the back seat, you know? And so I'm driving another block. And then the cop turns his sirens on. And I'm like, this is it. All right, what do I do? Do I run or do I pull over? And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pull over. I could work my magic.
Yeah.
You know, I'll work my magic.
Well, and if you run, they have to chase you.
Yes.
So there's a lot more that can go right or wrong, depending on how you look at it, if you just pull over.
Yeah. I'm also like, I could charm my way out of this. I have full
6'4" white guy.
Yes, exactly. I've done it before where I've been like speeding on the highway and gotten myself out of a ticket. So I'm like, I know how to work this. I pull over, and the fucking van flies by us. Yeah.
I've had that happen one time in my life. I stole my ex-stepdad's motorcycle when I was hammered. Because I was like, I watch movies. I know how to drive this thing. And I was drunk as shit at like 18 years old. And I was on just a road in Florida. And sirens go off behind me. And I'm drunk. And I'm like, fuck, I'm getting pulled over right now. Because I was speeding on his motorcycle, like this big Harley. So I pull off to the side of the road. It's heavy as shit. I can't like balance it. I'm drunk. I'm like, it's basically like falling over. And the cop speeds by me. And I just drop the Harley. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I will say that's probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life. I don't think there's anything else I could top that by far.
The only thing for me that was worse as far as an interaction with the police is I got pulled over, drunk as shit, by a gang squad unit in South Florida.
Holy fuck.
Like the SUV. Dude's all in tactical gear. Looks like they're about to go fucking play paintball or something. Like just yoked dudes. Yeah. And I got pulled over right outside the gate of my apartment.
Oh my God.
And the guy was like, hey, you're drunk. Like you're swerving. Like what the fuck's going on? And I was like, I know. I just had no way to get home from the bar because we didn't have Uber back then. And I was like, I live right there. And you could see my window with my light on. And you could see like my FAU banner in the window and stuff. Yeah. And they're like, yeah? And I go, officer, I promise you, that's my room with the light on. You can see it from the street. And he was like, listen, we're a gang unit. The only reason we pulled you over was because you were honestly like, you were an endangerment to other people on the road. We could tell you were so drunk the way you were swerving. He goes, I'm going to follow you. If you don't go through that apartment gate, because it was one of those things you had to like click a clicker. He goes, if you don't go through that apartment gate, I'm going to charge you with obstructing justice, not just a DUI. Like, you're going to prison if you don't go through that gate and get into that apartment. And I was like, all right. And they followed me. I got out of my car. And then as I'm going to put my keys in the apartment, I opened the door and I'm like, wave, like, see you guys later.
That's so
it's like your Merry Christmas. Like, I'm so drunk. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not going to be rude and not like just turn my back to them. So I turn and I'm like, bye guys.
Yeah, which is also like, fuck you. You know, that's really
I
what
thought
that
of it
was.
as like being respectful. Like, see you guys later. But they probably thought I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, 100%.
But dude, that was one of the ones where I was like, I got to stop. And of course, I just drank the next day. I was like, I'm not quitting. All right, we got time for the last one. What would happen with the absinthe and the Coke?
That was like that was peak living with the ex-girlfriend, just doing everything at that point. At my peak, I was doing
at my peak, or bottom, depending on how you look at it.
At my top, I would get 2 bottles of absinthe, which is just like licorice flavor.
Yeah, it's a liqueur. It's not even.
I loved it though. That was like a different type of drunk.
Well, that's the thing, is it's not necessarily overly strong, but it has different chemicals in it, so it reacts differently.
Exactly. Like, that's tunnel vision. That's like ketamine of alcohol, I will say. I would do an 8-ball. So how I would start, I would get 4 ecstasies. Me and my ex would split 2 each. We'd once the come down of the ecstasies started hitting us, we would switch to cocaine. And then once we were done with the blow, we would have 2 Xanax. one for each of us, so then we could
Go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't stay up throughout the whole night.
Yeah, it seems like a bulletproof plan.
Yeah, and it worked every time.
Of course.
Yeah. And
these chemicals they put billions of dollars into to make sure that they work right.
100%, dude. And I did. So I will say, like, why I started doing coke and stuff is because I did psychedelics heavily.
Yeah.
And it, like, I was in a psychosis for like 5 months because I had a really bad trip.
Yeah.
It was off of acid, and I was doing acid like every weekend for 4 or 5 months, something like that. And anytime I would smoke weed or anything, it would send me through a psychosis where like I would spiral and think about death.
Yeah.
And it was like I had to go to therapy. I mean, it was
It's like that Shane Gillis bit. All
rough.
day I think about death.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, and yeah. No,
Well,
so.
when I love how you're just like, yeah, and that was just kind of my life.
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
long time.
dude.
I want to ask you, because this is something I want to end on. When did we know when you decided to get sober. We know why you decided to get sober. How did you go about it? With a family that has a history in the program, did you start going to meetings where you're like, I'm going to do this on my own? Because there's a lot of ways to get sober. I have a lot of people on the show who don't drink or who are
Yeah.
sober, but I go to the Super Secret Society, but that's just because I tried a bunch of different ways and none of them worked. And so that's
Yes.
what I landed on.
Yeah.
And I spent years being like, you guys are fucking idiots. I know how to do this better. And then I'd always come back tail between my legs after a relapse being like, maybe you guys were right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for you, what did you start going to the gym? Did you start going to meetings? What did you do to be like, I need to kick this?
Well, so it was a day of me drinking. I was still drinking, and I was like, this is the last night of me drinking. And I was like, I'm done with it. And I texted my buddy. I knew he was sober. I knew he went to meetings, and I knew he was in the program. And I was like, hey, I want to go to a meeting tomorrow. I'm done with drinking. And immediately after that, the program helped me out for probably, I mean, it still helps me out today.
Yeah.
But like, that's mainly how I got sober, is through the secret society.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's the first couple of weeks too that are hard, because this is a thing. Like I'll have 8 years in May, and it's weird though because I still go to meetings and I have a home group. But when I first moved to New York, I had 3 years of sobriety, and I was like, I'm good. Like I had a sponsor. I worked the steps. I was like, I graduated. Like.
Yeah.
I moved to New York, and I went to meetings here and there, but I wasn't really into it. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to drink, but like maybe I don't need to be as obsessed with the program as I once was. And then I'll never forget a buddy of mine who still heavily drinks and stuff. Love him to death. Been on the show a bunch. Scott Sandlin, shout out. We were at the Stand for something because he did a lot of comedy in Jacksonville, moved to New York for his job, kind of stopped doing comedy as much, but still he loves stand-up. So we're at the Stand for something, and I'm hanging out with Ari because I know Ari. So we're hanging out, and Scott's there, and he's like, this is so crazy. You're hanging out with Ari. And he's drinking, and Ari's drinking, and it's like, I was like, man, I kind of want to fucking drink. And I was like, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I way underestimated how strong this was.
Yeah, dude.
And I remember after that, I literally excused myself. I was like, I got to go home. I got shit to do. I literally walked out of the Stand, and before I even got to the subway, I called my sponsor, and I was like, I've made a terrible mistake thinking I knew everything about this and I was fine now. And then I kind of re-immersed myself back in the program. But I tell you, man, there's plenty of people I have on where they're like, yeah, I was going and then I just kind of stopped and I don't drink anymore. And I'm always like, that's good for you, man. Because I tried that and I was like this close to being like, let's party.
Yeah.
Which would have been a fucking disaster.
I mean, it also does help, I will say. It's frequent in the program that there are parents that have been in the program, their kid gets sober as well. But like I was luckily enough that I knew the program worked.
Yeah, because you saw it firsthand.
Exactly. I knew it worked. My parents have over 30 years, both of them. So it's like I knew it worked. I always knew I was going to get sober. It was just like when it was going to hit me, you know?
It's funny you say that because I come from an opposite type of family where everyone in my family likes to drink. Yeah. And I would say heavy drinkers would be the worst extent, I would say. I wouldn't say alcoholic because that's, one, not for me to say, and two, that's not... Everyone has something that's more important. Like everyone in my family, like my sisters can stop drinking if they want to because of their family or their job or whatever. I could never do that once I crossed that line. But it is interesting because I always thought the opposite. I always thought I'd get sober, fix my life up, and then I would eventually start drinking again.
Yeah.
Because everyone in my family drinks.
Yeah.
And so it is an interesting thing because I tried that a few times and it always turned to disaster. And I was like, yeah, maybe I just can't do this at all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, there were a few times where I was like, all right, I'll chill. But like it never...
Stuff.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're an addict. It's never, all right, I'm going to chill out for a few days. It's, all right, I'm going to take a week off and then get blacked out on Friday.
Absolutely obliterated. Because I deserve it. I took a week off.
Yes, exactly, dude. So I'm making up for all the lost time that I just did.
Dude, it's fucking a disaster. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're sober.
course.
Crushing comedy. Plug everything one more time. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Instagram is maybe James Patrick. James Patrick on YouTube. And I think on TikTok, it's okay James Patrick. So thank you guys. I appreciate you for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media. BrennanTComedy.com. We're filming the special May 17th, Sunday, 7 p.m., 9 p.m. at Grove 34 here in Astoria. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all next week. Boom.
Hell yeah.